Hello, team. Welcome to another weekly sales meeting. I hope everybody's having a great start to the week. We're going to get kicked off here and talk a little bit about Metrics Wednesday. Every Wednesday, our senior leadership team gets together and we review metrics that we're reviewing week over week and month over month. And this week, just going over our weekly metrics, we're looking at things like what's our daily lock volume trending at? What's our daily? What's our weekly LO headcount at? Where's our weekly credit pulls trending at? These are all metrics that tell us how we're doing and where we're going. These are key things from an accountability standpoint that we look at. We look at things from, our cash reserve. Is it growing? Is it stagnating? Is it going down? We look at our ops cycle times. We look at all of these different areas of our business, and each senior leader has ownership over one of those areas. Now, to me, when we're looking at these things, it's all like, are we on target to hit our goals? Our goal is to grow significantly every quarter. We're looking to grow by 25 to 50% quarter over quarter. This quarter will be the first quarter this year that we're able to actually hit that mark. We've been striving for it every quarter, but this will be the first time we're hitting it. So, to me, these are all about accountability. It's like, do we have to do more outreach? Do we have to put more effort into conversion? Do we have to, make sure that we're getting in front of more realtors so we're getting more referrals so that we're pre-approving more borrowers? And then our daily credit metric goes up, or our weekly credit metric goes up. So I'm looking at the numbers today, I'm saying, we've doubled our credit pulls on a weekly basis. What does that mean? Based upon pull through, that means that in a month, our lock volume is going to double. That's the way it translates. Maybe it's off by 5 or 10% in each direction. But these are key metrics that tell us how we're doing, tells us where we need to focus, where we need to add a higher level of effort. So I look at this in same way that, a loan officer is looking at their business. What are the things I need to be doing week over week? And is it paying off? Yesterday, we saw Nate Fain we hosted a virtual event with Nate Fain. He had, I believe, close to 200 people sign up for it, over 80 people attend for the full session. And that's a massive success. In 2 weeks of promotion, whole team effort of, everybody inviting the realtors, referral partners, LOs, to get 80 people to give you an hour of their time is a big, big deal. That's going to be a big performance metric for his business. Is he going to get referrals from that? Is he going to help, other members of our team get referrals from that in their markets? And we got to measure that. We have to make sure we're staying ahead of what we're doing. So for your business, define these key KPIs that you're measuring week over week. How many credit pulls did I have this week? How many locks did I have? How many fundings did I have? How many realtor presentations did I have? I talked to Champasonian yesterday. We had a great conversation. And one of the things that he said to me that really stood out to me was he's on a daily basis, he's got a goal of 5 new realtor presentations per day. And he said, I don't care if the realtor is doing 1 deal a month. And this is somebody that did $2 billion last year in business. He said, I don't care if it's 1 deal a month. I'm doing that half-hour presentation on what our business model is, how we support our partners, and why we're the best in the state of Massachusetts. And again, that's a key metric. He's sitting there saying, if I talk to 5, I'm going to get 1 to send me a deal a month. And if that happens 5 days a week, that means I'm getting 5 more deals each week, each month for each week that I do this. So those are KPIs. Those are things that we need to be doing. So, whatever that thing is, we got to make sure we're measuring it. It's critical for us to translate what our goals are into actual reality. So I want to talk about growing into a shrinking market. We're seeing this play out across the industry right now, and the headlines are exactly what we're seeing, which is the decision to shrink. The decision for some companies to grow. UWM has decided to grow. Cross Country Mortgage has decided to grow. There's certain companies, Movement Mortgage has decided to grow. There's certain companies that have made a business decision that said losing money in 2022 is okay because we're focused on growing. We're not going to cut team members. We're going to invest in growing and recruiting and bringing on new people, giving signing bonuses or reducing price. And understanding that that's a decision that starts with every single person that's a part of the team. So for us, you can make the decision to grow. We were down in Florida with Danny Delatorre and Herbert. They've made the decision to grow. They're out hosting events. They're out getting in front of realtors. They're out bringing business development people from other organizations forward so we can potentially bring them on board for their branch. They're focused on the growth part of the business. They're not focused on what they're taking home at the end of the year. And that mindset is really important because the money will always follow growth. And the money will also always follow shrinking. When you decide to shrink, believe me, you'll see the money go away. If you grow, regardless of whether it's profitable today because you're investing in your business, investing in your team, the money will follow and the growth will turn into success down the line. But right now, making that decision, we're seeing a mirror. We're seeing certain people in our organization that are leading with events, leading with getting in front of more agents, leading with doing more realtor presentations. It's key that we're doing these things every single day and that we're outworking our competition, because it's either us or them. And right now, some of the conversations I've had over the last couple of weeks, I've talked to a lot of retail lows that did 30 loans a month last year, 25 loans a month last year. And this year they're doing 2, 3, 4 loans a month. I mean, they're down 90%. And when I talk to them and say, hey, what are you going to do? What's your game plan? Like, you can't be down 90%, just give up. And a lot of people are just saying, I'm going to wait this market out. You can't wait the market out, okay? This could end up being a year. This could end up being 18 months. Like, if you just sit there and say, I'm going to wait this market out, somebody else is going to take your referral relationships from you. The consumers that maybe you hope you're going to refinance are not going to be there waiting for you. Like, that's not a business model. That's not a way to approach it. You got to go all in on yourself. This isn't a time to start to hedge. This is not a time to start to look at, hey, I'm going to pick up a part-time job. I'm going to do less mortgage and I'm going to diversify into something else. Now's the time to focus on going all in on you, all in on your business. So that means take your master your day. If you're doing 2 social posts a day, how do you get to 4? I'm sitting here all week long trying to declutter my day. I have so many meetings all day. I'm trying to get to my 3 posts a day, and it's tough because you got to make time for it. You got to make sure you're doing it at the right times of day, and it's a process. Just like Nate talked about during his presentation yesterday. So, like, what are the commitments? What are the things that we need to be doing? How can we? We're going to be doing a market presentation in a couple of weeks with Barry Habib. Like, how do we make sure we take that knowledge and get in front of our realtors? How are we making sure that we're going to our financial advisors that have relationships with other potential real estate agents or people that we're not currently working with to help us get in front of those people? You saw Amir do a presentation yesterday. He had a financial advisor that I've been working with for many, many years that came in. He's guy's very well connected. He's got a huge network tied to Michigan State University. And Amir had him come in, speak to 40, 50 people. And, that adds value to that financial advisor who's now getting in front of 30 to 40 people. But in return, that guy's making sure that he's out there communicating about Amir, making sure he's putting Amir in touch with top real estate agents or top financial advisors. Like, it's a win-win game, but somebody's got to lead on it. And making sure that we're leading is critical. So my advice to you is this is not a time to dial it back. This is not a time to sit there and say, hey, it's a bad market. I'm just going to do 1 or 2 loans and get by. I'm going to wait this thing out. Now is the time to go all in and get the real estate agents. They are dying for somebody to reach out to them. Right now, the only group of people that are more scared than loan officers is real estate agents, except the only difference is nobody's communicating to them. We saw NAR came out and said 500,000 realtors are going to leave the real estate industry by the end of the year. Like that, they're leaving because nobody is setting them straight. Nobody's giving them a playbook. Nobody's telling them it's going to be okay. This is a normal cycle. I've been doing this for almost 20 years. These cycles come and go. The people that dominate are the people that go all in on themselves and their business in cycles like this. Lead from the front. Be the person in your market that's going to tell everybody, like, it's going to be okay. This is a blip. If you zoom out 20, we go over a 20-year period of time. This is going to be a short period of time. Rates go up. Home prices level out, just like it has every single time this has happened over the last 20 years. And guess what? Once rates go down, it levels back up. Don't be reactive. Focus on being the leader. Go all in on yourself. Go all in on your business. And make sure you're doing the things that we need to be doing every single day to dominate our market. I'm going to hand it off, and I'll be back shortly.
Hi everyone, I'm Jessica Einkorn and I'm here with Joel Casa and Kyle Kohler to talk about the Life of a Loan process training that these guys hosted last week and will again be hosting today at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you both for taking the time to meet with me. As we know, this training was created based on feedback we received in Report Up and during our weekly peer-to-peer meetings. This training may be optional, but it's strongly encouraged, especially for all loan originators that have been with UMortgage for 30 days or less. And we're here to talk about why. Joel, why is this training important, and what do you guys go over during the training?
So thanks for having me on today. What's really important about the training is it's the experience. It's experience going across the board from loan originator to loan coordinator to processor to closer to pretty much everybody that's involved. It's a consistent method of everybody doing the same thing so that someone else could step into one of the pods and help out when they can. And it memorializes all the information so that it can be translated to whoever it needs to go to at any point in time. And it really is about being consistent and delivering a great experience. Experience is everything. So, delivering a great experience to everybody involved.
Thanks for that overview, Joel. I know that you guys go over a lot of information and even some intricacies of our processes that'll help us save time and create a better experience for our borrowers. Part of the training goes over how to effectively hand off the file to our loan coordinators and processors. This includes properly completing the loan narrative. Kyle, why is it important for each person involved in the loan process to properly hand off the file, and how does the loan narrative fit in?
I mean, I look at the loan narrative as kind of the pre-play huddle to make sure you can execute on that play, do a good job. So that narrative really tees everyone up in the process. It helps the processor, the loan coordinator. We all are on the same page before we submit the file. And so since we're all on the same page, there are intricacies on every single file, and we've already talked about that as a team. We avoid a lot of hiccups throughout the process. So the loan narrative is huge. It's probably the key play, I would say, to execute on having success.
A smooth handoff with the right information, like you said, keeps everyone on the same page, and effective communication helps you quickly resolve problems and builds trust with one another. During the training, you talk about who's responsible for what throughout the process. Joel, why is it so important to know who does what?
It's very important to know who does what, because at the end of the day, you want to be efficient. You want to be efficient in all your communication. You want to go to the right person. You want to have a great result. And if there's people in between that you go to, normally that'll distort what the message is that you're trying to get done. So always knowing like what the loan coordinator does, what the loan processor does, what a closer does, and what the team leads are doing effectively will deliver the experience that I've been telling you about. But also it's not only create strong communities outside of here, but it's creating a strong community inside of here, and continuity and consistency amongst each other. So knowing who to go to at all times is a really good thing to know at all with every step of the loan.
I agree with you. And we also don't want to be wasting anyone's time, especially duplicating work. Well, on the flip side, we should also be making sure that we're taking ownership and accountability with the processes that we should be handling. Kyle, one of the key points you both go over is developing strong relationships with your operations pod. Why is that important?
I mean, it's incredibly important. I like to think as our pod, I'm like, welcome to the NFL. We're very high level. We have a lot of things that we're gonna have to accomplish here. Things are gonna be done with urgency. But if we have a great relationship with our pod and with our processors, with our loan coordinators, with our loan officers, we can ask high level responsibility, tasks, and people will execute on that because we like each other. We like working with each other. We enjoy being able to solve problems together. It just creates a culture where we can handle high stress. So if you don't know your processor or you don't know your loan coordinator, it's really important to reach out to them, be there of service, wanting to help them out, and just let them know you got their back, because they definitely have your back.
That's so true. And focusing on relationships and not just transactions is what our company is all about. Joel, will our processes ever change?
Will our processes ever change? Yes, they will change. Get better every day. And that means that we're literally going over, using the report up to see what in our process needs to be effectively changed, reviewing the outcomes. And that's why we keep a lot of we post a lot of reporting to everyone about our turn times, about why we have a goal for a certain amount of days to deliver on for CTC. Effectively, every time something that we get better on, eventually we're trying to shrink it down from days down to hours and have the best results and have the best value proposition for oncoming loan originators and agents and borrowers at all times. And so we're constantly tweaking or changing the process to get better and to make sure the responsibilities that everybody has are equally distributed to have a great outcome. So yes, we're getting better every day, and that means that we will be changing processes.
Yeah, like you said, Joel, let's get better every day. What works today may not work tomorrow. And we can change them to become more effective or relevant depending on our industry. And the exciting thing is that we at UMortgage are the trailblazers, and we're the ones creating innovative ways to change our industry using people and processes that'll smack everyone else's hand out of the cookie jar. Because damn it, those are our cookies. All right, Kyle, the Utah branch currently averages the fastest application to clear to close with the lowest number of underwriting touches. What's the secret sauce?
I think the secret sauce is, the same thing as we treat the pod that we're the highest level in the industry, our loan officers as well. We tell them, you are the highest level loan officer to be in this branch. We expect you to have the best file. We expect you to know your file so that when you hand it off to the loan coordinator, you did a really good job giving them a really good file. So depending on we got cookie cutter files, we got self-employed files, we got really difficult files. The level that you submit the file every single time our goal is to get an A on every single, a grade basically of an A on every single file handoff. And because we've done our part, we know our loan coordinators and our processors will do their part at high level. So we just do it with that attitude that we are working and playing at the highest level and we're here to win.
Well, you guys are doing an amazing job. You and your entire loan team work cohesively, you build trust with one another, and you ultimately provide an exceptional experience for our borrowers and our loan partners alike. Thank you both for giving us the scoop on what you're sharing during the Life of a Loan process training. I do have one final question. What band has been on your go-to playlist forever?
Okay, Kyle, let's hear it.
It depends on what I'm doing. If I'm in the sales and I'm doing sales, it's just happy, good music. I'm from the year 2000, so it'll either be Blink 182 or something like that. But if I'm really getting into helping processing or doing stuff like that, it's going to be heavy metal for sure. So we're, it's going to be a lot of different bands there.
I would have to say, yeah, it depends on what we're in the mix of. If it's high pace, high energy, it's going to be Metallica. But if it's something going down that makes me sad, I'll probably put on some sort of crooner music, like a Frank Sinatra. So it all depends on what's going on.
Joel's also a big fan of the trumpet. So as long as, if there's trumpet in there, Joel is going to be listening to that. That's his jam.
That's right. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm also a Blink 182 fan as well, but who's always on my go-to playlist is Nickelback, which nobody likes them. I don't know why, but I love
Adam West. That's his favorite band. Nickelback.
Adam West.
You made Adam West so happy.
Are you serious?
Oh, God. No.
Okay, well, thanks for allowing us to get to know you guys a little bit more. I feel like your bands say a lot about the two of you. All right, everyone, if you missed it last week, check out the Life of a Loan process training today at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and continue to learn ways to set your file up for success, remove barriers, and create a positive experience for our borrowers. Thank you for tuning in. I'm passing it on to Jimmy.
Hey guys, Jimmy Hobson out here in the great state of Utah. I'm happy to be on sales meeting again today. One of the things they wanted me to talk about today was consistent discipline and schedule, how I'm able to do what I do on a daily basis. And a lot of that starts with, to be honest with you, is I get up extra early so that for the first hour or two of the day, I can literally attack my email, attack my loan files without any distraction. Because once 8 o'clock in the morning starts, it goes mad. So, but I also use, not only do I do that, but I also schedule everything out. So I use the calendar on my phone and literally schedule everything going on all day long with constant reminders. I get reminded 10 minutes before, I get reminded an hour before, I get reminded a day before. So I always know what's coming, so I don't ever forget. Because when you're handling so much, sometimes you do forget. What that allows me to do is by knocking things out early, I'm able to get messages and help my team members. We've got near 20 or more people within the branch that I'm able to help because I maintain that schedule. One thing we've also implemented branch internally is trainings on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 o'clock. We'll bring on AEs. We'll talk about different subjects. We'll bring on different ideas about loan types, FHA, USDA, VA. So by doing that, it takes away a lot of the questions that would get asked throughout the day. People know they can come at a certain time, and ask those questions. And then in addition to sales meeting that we have right now, we have our own branch sales meeting after where we address those things. So that's a lot of how we do it. And I do that scheduling because last year and the year before, when I was on an island with essentially 1 or 1.5 assistants, I was working 60, 70 hours a week. That doesn't really, keep a marriage together very well if you're always working and you're skipping dinner and you're showing up at weird hours, right? So that's the biggest thing. So I try to structure my day early. I try to make sure at a certain amount of time during the day, barring something comes up on the weekend where I need to help somebody, that my days are free so I can dedicate time to my wife and my kids and the things that matter. But as anyone on my team can attest, I am very available. I have a ridiculous capacity for time management and information. I don't sit and lollygag when I'm working. When I'm working, it's 100 miles an hour, as hard as I can go to get shit out of the way. If I got 10 minutes to do something, it's going to take 8. I'm going to spend 8 and do it before my next call. So that's how I structure everything to be more successful. Sometimes you feel like you're burning out, but I'd rather literally have a lull for an hour or two because I crushed everything for the first 4. So that's really how I do it. I get to bed early because I'm old, but I get up early, sometimes 5, sometimes 6, give myself enough time in the morning to do that. Now, a lot of people don't want to work on the weekends. My wife sleeps until 9 or 10 on a Saturday. So I get up in the morning and I attack a lot of things that I need to do for the following week on a Saturday or a Sunday morning. Because frankly, at 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning, I'm not able to sleep in. So I might as well get up and do things that help structure for the next week to help my team members to be able to follow up. I'll send out motivational videos while I'm walking, things like that, talking about structure to try to help people work better. That's really what it comes down to is, we only have a certain amount of time in the day. And frankly, our families are more important than this job. But without this job, we can't take care of our families. So we got to learn how to balance it. Now, work-life balance looks different for everybody. I like to work. It's actually what fuels me. When I have a lull on Saturday or Sunday, I get a little stir crazy and almost need to go for a drive. My wife will go drive around and look at things because I literally am sitting at home losing my mind, right? Don't be like me, but at the same time, that kind of gives you an idea of what I'm doing. So that's what allows me to, number one, do my own production because I'm very fast and efficient at structuring files and getting them to the team to let the team run with it. I trust my team implicitly. My loan coordinators, my processors, I let them do everything they're going to do to drive that forward. I put it in their hands knowing that they're going to do the job. If they don't do the job, then obviously we're going to have conversations about it and make sure it gets done the next time. But I trust the team well enough after what we built since November when we came over to do all those things. So that allows me more time with my family. I'm going to a concert tonight with my son. This is obviously, I'm filming this on Monday instead of Wednesday because, sales meeting's Wednesday. But I'm going to a concert tonight because I've structured my day such that I'm getting everything done, hopefully by 4 o'clock. So I don't have anything else to deal with unless someone calls me. So that's how I look at it. I get up early, I attack it early. I swallow it whole. I take 3 hours of work and do it in 1, because I don't sit there and muddle around. I'll attack it and get stuff done. So that's my recommendation is if you want to grow, get up a little earlier. That's what's going to help you. That's what helps Anthony do what he does every single day is because he's up early. That's what helps Joel do what he does for us because he's up every single day early before there's distractions. When you get distracted in the middle of the day, it's hard. You know what it feels like when you go to a lunch with the realtor for an hour and a half, who you love your realtor partners, but you get back and you get 30 emails. Imagine how many emails you'd have if you waited till 9 or 10 to get to work that day. Then you'd have 60 or 70 emails, right? So structure it up, use your calendar on your phone, use reminders, use alarms, whatever it takes. That's how I attack my day. Obviously, I'm going to start using Calendly more to schedule more things out with clients, but that's what I look at every single day. And I know people do different things, but we're here to support and help each other. So if you ever want to ask what I do, reach out to me, obviously. And I'm learning every single day because there's better ways to do what I'm doing, right? But it works for me. It may not work for you. But there's something about what I've done that you can take and use, just like there's something you're doing that I can take and use. So take that at heart. Obviously, go out and kick ass. There are no excuses. You don't need me to repeat myself. I've said it 100 times. We're here to grow the greatest mortgage company in the world. And I'm here to help you do that. Reach out to me if you need me. Have a great day.
Hello, and thank you so much for having me on the weekly sales meeting. Happy Wednesday. Today, the topic I'm going to discuss is something we all know and love, the report up. So today I'm going to talk about how the report up responses turn into feedback through several different processes that happen both behind the scenes and in front of it. First and foremost, as we all know, the report up is due every Thursday by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is tomorrow, by the way. Now, once all of the responses have been gathered, those are then aggregated into a single report that is shared across the organization on Friday. Now, each Friday, leaders also take a look at this report and begin talking with their team members about things that they can do to best support them or working through issues or feedback they recently received. In addition to this, team members may look at the report and see other areas of the business where they can help support or work together to resolve some of the pain points that may be cross-departmental, which means spanning across multiple departments or teams in the organization. Now, it does not stop there. We also have our business innovation team who takes a look at these responses. In addition to report up feedback, they also look at peer-to-peer feedback and responses that are happening each week. But more on that in just a little bit. Now, we also have our executive leadership team who meets every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m., again, Eastern Standard Time, and we talk through the themes that you will see across the organization in Report Up. This helps us do a few things. One, it helps us see what multiple teams are struggling with across the organization and if there are some immediate pain points we can alleviate. It identifies themes so that we can hone in on a focus area. Now, this doesn't mean that the other things don't matter, but we focus in on a single thing or one or two things for the week. It allows us to be more effective in our time. If we see themes that continue to bubble up to the surface or continue to happen week over week, we know that we need to start focusing on those in the following week as well. Now, in addition to that, we also send out a summary email every Wednesday that talks about not only the themes that we've identified, short-term projects that we can implement in the next few weeks with minimal resourcing or lift, long-term projects which take a little bit more resourcing, coordination, and planning across multiple teams or require a lot of additional resources or people. Those are generally put into our priority planning, such as the Q3 priorities. And then we also talk through some wins that have happened from the report up. In addition to this, we also highlight some feedback that's really top-notch week over week. And the reason why we do this is because good feedback leads to even better results. So I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Now, one of the other things that we do with the report up is if there are themes that we want to get opinions or insights on, or if we have proposed solutions that seem viable but want to get buy-in, we'll actually bring these topics to the peer-to-peer. So you may have noticed in Anthony, Jessica, Dave, myself, we may open a peer-to-peer topic with, hey, we noticed the report up XYZ. This allows us to have consistent feedback loops and conversations across the organization before we implement solutions that may not actually be scalable or effective when we bring in other departments' perspectives. Now, in addition to this, as I said, we take these and we actually implement wins or implement process changes that result in wins, which is fantastic. So, for example, I'm going to talk about a long-term project, but it had a lot of feedback and good impact. So, as we've moved through the report up, multiple weeks in a row, we've seen issues between the mechanisms around locking, lock desk, our loan coordinators, and making sure that loans are locked on time. Now, it's important that we focus this feedback more on the process, the resources, or the experience rather than the people, which I'll talk about in just a second. As a result of this feedback and analyzing and evaluating this, there have been several conversations over the past few months and weeks to look at all of the viable solutions that we could possibly think of to make sure we're adding the most service and the best experience for not only our loan originators, but our operations team, our capital markets team, and of course, our clients. So, an example of a long-term project. In Q4, our operations leader, of course, Sabrina Lopez, and our chief financial officer, Gil, are going to work on a process for moving locking over to the loan coordination department. Now, because this is going to require a massive amount of coordination amongst teams, a lot of validation and quality control, as well as several different feedback loops and training up our loan coordinators so they feel empowered and comfortable taking this on, this is going to be a whole initiative and priority that we do in the fourth quarter. So because of this, again, it becomes a long-term project because there's planning and resourcing, and we want to make sure we get it right. There could be other smaller projects, like recently we've noticed that there was a need for some additional process around loan submissions, so we added a simple checkbox to make sure that we were doing what we needed to do and covering all of our bases when we submit a loan file. Now, little things like this and big things like what I just mentioned are both impactful and help us be better each and every day. So it's not to say one is better than the other. It just gives us the amount of perspective and resources that we need to get it done. Now, all of these changes were as a result of feedback. So the reason why feedback is so important to focus on the process or the tool or resource or experience is because the people will continue to change. As people ideally grow in their careers, move on to different roles, get promoted, and grow with UMortgage, their role and the different activities that they perform will change. And that means other people are going to need to fill in that. So when we focus on the process or the experience or the resource or the tool and not the people, we can do more long-term solutioning, and we can really change things systemically, which essentially is from the very root cause of what's happening. So this allows us to be more scalable, allows us a little bit more dexterity as people, like I said, grow and evolve, and it allows us to look at our process from an objective standpoint. So I encourage when you report up this week that you put in feedback related to process, tools, or experiences. And then of course, if you have a proposed solution, feel free to enter that as well. We highly encourage it because your experience is different than anyone else in the organization. Now, while it may be similar to others, you may be coming at it from a different lens and propose something that maybe no one else has thought of, or propose a similar solution and we realize it's a very viable and healthy solution that already has a lot of buy-in. So don't hesitate to throw a solution out there if you have one that may work. Thank you so much for all of your report up feedback, and we look forward to continuing to turn your feedback into process improvements. Thank you.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Super pumped to be in this week's sales meeting. And what I really just want to do is just really talk about how you are able to dominate your local market by staying top of mind. And so at the end of the day, a lot of my success has all just came from being the most frequent to post, staying top of mind, and consistently reminding everybody that we are the best lender in the country and nobody does it better than us. So again, one of the few things I do is always consistently post, right? So I know you may not think that people want to see you posting, and honestly, they probably don't want to see you posting, but guess what? Screw them. I don't care if people don't want to see that I got a 7-day clear close. It doesn't matter, because guess what? They see it, and in the back of their brain, that's where it sticks. Like, oh, shoot, I need a quick closing. I'm going to call Tyler. And so that's really where it starts, is just continuing to post and just post with the most confidence. We have the best ops team. We have the best systems. We have the best processes. We have the best team members. We are the best lender in America. And so with that, we're able to go out and do things nobody else can do. And so you need to just consistently remind people of how awesome we are and just walk around with that confidence and swagger that we're the best because we are. And so again, one of the things I do is I utilize the Canva templates that marketing made up for me. And even though I'm not the highest producer here at UMortgage, I probably post more than everybody else. And what that does is when I go through and I add real estate agents to my Facebook and I consistently post about every contract, every clear to close, every close and funded, guess what? That's 3 to 4 posts per transaction. If I'm doing 10 loans next month, that's 40 different posts that they see throughout the month. And what this does is it just reassures them, like, hey, this guy might be actually all he talks himself up to be. He might be as busy. If he's this busy, he must be good. And so just consistent posting just makes you seem like the professional and the go-to figure in your market. And so another trick that I did is we have a local real estate group down here in San Antonio. It's mostly San Antonio, but a lot of Texas is in it. But anyway, that's where a lot of real estate professionals hang out. And so I'm always in that group. I'm always posting. I'm always posting exactly what I post in my profile in there. And even if a post only gets 3 likes, guess what? You know how many business I've picked up from that group? You know how many agents I've picked up from that group? Because you're able to see real time what people are struggling with. I mean, if you see somebody commenting, hey, do you have any listings for sale? My buyer's having trouble getting an offer accepted. Guess what? You call that agent and you tell them, hey, what are you doing right now to get your offer accepted? Oh, your lender's not calling. Your lender's not filming a custom video. Guess what? That's things we do. And that's how we set ourselves apart to win offers. So just find a local group, because I'm sure every market has them. Find a local group to where you can consistently post and just keep an eye out for new business, pretty much, because it's gonna be there. All of my business can be tied back to Facebook. So again, just to sum everything up, just post as much as you can. And if you want to commit some posts to personal, that's fine. You can throw a balance in there. Or if you just want to go all business, don't be afraid to. It works. I'm doing it and it is working for me. So just continue to post, find local groups to where you can post, just try to expand your reach. Because guess what? Even though I've only been in San Antonio and I did my first loan in San Antonio back in November, guess what I've done in the short time? I'm the VA guy to go to now. So again, just continue to post, continue to win, post your wins, and just keep hustling because business is out there. We're the best, and let's go get it. All right, let's crush it this week, everybody. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Tyler, and you are truly crushing it, dominating the month of August, and it's all about that consistency that you talked about. It's the habits, doing it every single day. So last two things before we wrap up here is, number one, we want to congratulate Kayla Lopez. She's officially tomorrow, it's September 1st, being promoted to SVP of Strategy, which will come over business development, marketing, and business innovation. This has been a well-earned promotion. Kayla has, stepped into every single challenge possible over her time here, but specifically this last year, we had some major, a major leadership void over operations. She was able to come into operations, something that she doesn't have experience in, hasn't necessarily done before, and help us bring that together, get it to a good place before handing it off to Sabrina. So her contributions are felt across the organization in many, many different ways, and she's been an invaluable part of our team. So congratulations, Kayla. We're all very, very grateful to have you here. Last thing before we wrap up is we talked about this September 14th virtual event. Barry Habib, CEO of MBS Highway, Matt Gauger, Matt the Mortgage Guy, our very own Matt the Mortgage Guy, we're going to be hosting a virtual event, how to thrive in this market. This is going to be similar to what we did with Nate Fain. We're going to promote it. We're going to do promote it on Facebook. We're going to promote it on LinkedIn. We're going to get everybody involved to drive, real estate agents, loan officers, anybody in our sphere of influence to this event. And the whole goal is add value. Everybody wants to know what's going on with the market. Everybody wants to know, our home value is going to go down. How's inflation impacting interest rates? Do we see rates getting cut in the future? So, Barry's really great at articulating that message. He knows the data better than anybody out there. This will be a great opportunity to get us, to get the UMortgage brand in front of more of our audience, and for us to bring value to our local communities and our local stakeholders. So, look out for this. We're going to be promoting it. Major thing here is we're going to take this session and then internally create our own slide deck, create our own speaker notes, create our own presentation for each of you to take to your local markets. And be able to do a market update, a thrive in this market for real estate agents, for attorneys, anybody that's in that local market that's impacted by what's going on in housing. So that'll be something that we turn around over the next month. But again, it's all let's hear from the expert. Let's take that value. Let's bring it local. Let's make sure we're getting in front of more agents by bringing them that value, and let's win. So you heard a lot of the same here today. I just want to wrap up and say it's all about staying focused. If you pay attention to the news, I don't listen to news. I don't go on news websites. I don't listen to any of that stuff. I don't care. You shouldn't care. It's all about what's in front of you every single day. We're going to continue to win. Our lock volume is going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to focus on doing what is best for our customers and for our team members, and growing every single month and getting better every day. So have a great day, guys. Thank you for your time today. Talk to you soon.